Okay, we're going to be going over a little bit of page 9, and I'll just be giving you some useful tips for setting up these equations. So the first thing is finding out the angle relationship. So these two angles here, they're both on the inside of lines L and M, and they are on different sides of the transversal. So that means they are alternate interior angles. And alternate interior angles are congruent when lines are parallel. So I'd go ahead and put an equal sign in between those. Our next angle relationship here is same side interior. So if you notice, they're on the same side of this transversal, and they're both on the inside of lines L and M. So these two angles, one is obtuse, this is 104, and this is one here is going to be acute. So we know that they're not equal, but what we do know is that they're supplementary, which means we can add them and set it equal to 180 degrees. Now, in the next one, we actually didn't talk about this angle relationship. We do call them same side exterior, but if I were to take this angle and slide it here, that would be corresponding. So that's where the corresponding comes from. And then it's vertical to this angle here. So we do know that these two angles, when they're corresponding and vertical, those are both congruent angle relationships. So I'm going to go ahead and put a congruent symbol between those. There we go. So we've got 5x plus 7 equals to the 8x minus 71. And then our last angle relationship is corresponding. These are in the same relative position. So these angles we would set equal to each other as well. All right. So here we've got a corresponding angle relationship. And for all of the rest of the problems, we're going to want to solve for x before we can solve for y. So I know these two angles here are corresponding. That means they're equal. So you're going to set up an equation where you're putting those two expressions equal to each other with the x's. And then the other angle relationship here I wrote is a linear pair. So if I'm going to circle these two angles, these angles create a line. They're a straight angle pair. I know that together 13x minus 19 plus that 17y plus 5 angle should add up to 180. So first, before I can do this question, I need to solve for x. So I can put that number here. On our next question, we have for x, which we're solving for first, these two angles here, they are same side interior. So I'm going to put a plus in between them. Remember, same side interior angles, we're going to add them to equal 180. So those two angles there equal to 180. So if we combine like terms, that would be like 6x and 3x being 9x. We have a negative 7 and a negative 29 as negative 36. And then we can set that equal to 180. And then I put vertical here because we have this 8y angle that we're now solving for. And I know it's vertical to this angle here, which is 6x minus 7. So we should be able to say 8 or 6x, whatever x is, we're going to solve for that first. And then we should be able to equal it to 8y plus 17. And my next diagram, I've drawn off to the side here these parallel line diagram with corresponding angles. And that's this line I'm referring to, this line here, and this line here. So we've got an angle relationship of corresponding angles. That would be this 7x minus 23 would be corresponding to this 49 plus 3x. So when I set those equal, that's corresponding. When I set that equal to each other, I should be saying 7x minus 23 equals the entire thing there, 3x plus the 49. Okay. And then for the other angle relationship, this angle here, it's in the same relative position as this 3x angle. Those are also corresponding to each other. So I should be able to set them equal. So I should say 3 times x, whatever I get for x when I solve for it, equals 11y minus 1. And then the last problem on page 9, I'm starting here with interior angles. So that'd be this angle and this angle with the x expressions on them. So I know that those are interior of these two parallel lines and they're on opposite sides of the line. So I should be able to set them equal. the 5x minus 38 equal to the 3x minus 4. Once I set them equal, I should then be able to solve for, I really want to solve for this angle here. I'm going to put a question mark next to it. Well, I know this one is 90. And when I solve for x, I can figure out this angle measure. And then these three angles here are going to add up to 180. Okay. So once you've solved for that question mark angle that I put here, that is going to be alternate interior to the 7y minus 20. So we kind of have two sets of alternate interior angles. So another relationship would be the alternate interiors. Oops. And so you should be able to set that question mark angle once you've solved for it equal to the 7y minus 20. Hopefully you were able to pause throughout the video and kind of check on your solutions or fill out the solutions for them. And let's go ahead and put in our answers so you can check to make sure they're correct. You are getting credit for the work though, not just the solutions. And then for question 9, you should have x equals 11 once solving for that, and then y equals 3. Question 10, x equaling 24, y equaling 15. Question 11, x equaling 18, y is 5. And then for our last question, x is 17 and y is 9.